Good morning, dear students. Welcome you all. Today we will continue the chapter of history, devotional paths to the divine. In the previous class, we discussed these subtopics. The subtopics are hagiography, a new kind of bhakti in South India, Nayanas and Alvars. The last one is the saints of Maharashtra. So we will recapitulate these subtopics before starting the chapter. Hagiography. Hagiography means writing about saints' life. Writing about saints' lives. Understand? The second one is new kind of bhakti in South India, Nayanars and Alvars. Nayanars who were devoted to Lord Shiva and Alvars who were devoted to Lord Vishnu. They belong to different castes such as lower castes also. They were also critical to Buddhists and Jainas. Understand? And the next subtopic is the saints of Maharashtra. From the 13th to 17th centuries, Maharashtra saw a great number of saints poets whose songs in simple Marathi continue to inspire people. Understand? So most the saints are Janeshwar, Namdev, Eknath, Tukaram. Understand? As well as women like Sakkubai and family of Chokha Mela who belong to the untouchable Mehar caste. Understand? So they also worshipped Vithala, the form of Vishnu, in Pandharpur temple. Understand? In Pandharpur temple. And according to, they also rejected outward religiosity. Understand? And according to them, they felt that it is not needed to leave the home to get salvation. To live in the family is compulsory. To live with family, they have given the importance, not to renunciation. Understand? So afterward, we will discuss the subtopics from the chapter. You must enjoy the chapter and try to know about the chapter. Okay, students, today we will start the chapter with the first subtopic. The subtopic is Nathpanthis, Siddhas and Yogis. Nathpanthis, Siddhacharas and Yogis, they advocated, supported renunciation of the world to leave the world. And according to them, the path to salvation lay in meditation. Meditation lay in meditation on the formless ultimate reality and the realization of oneness with it. According to them, meditation is compulsory to unite with the God, formless ultimate reality. And to achieve this, they supported intense training of the mind and body through practices like yoga asanas, breathing exercises and meditation. These are necessary to unite with the formless ultimate reality God. Understand? And these groups became popular among low castes, and they were also popular in northern India. Understand? So they focused on meditation to unite the formless reality, the God. Understand? These are the groups of saints. Afterward, we are coming the next subtopic, Islam and Sufism. The saints, Sant had much in common with the Sufis. They are common just like Sufis, saints in Hindu religion. Understand? Sufis were mostly mystics. What do you understand by the term mystic? Mystic means a person who spends her life developing her spirit and communicating with God. Mystic Mystics are the person who are devoted to the God. They have intense love towards God. They want to unite to the God. Understand? So Sufi were Muslim mystics. They rejected outward religiosity and emphasized love and devotion to God. They emphasized force, love and devotion to God, and compassion towards all fellow human beings, and kindness toward all human beings. They did not believe in what? They rejected outward religiosity, rituals which we say. Understand? We know that Islam propagated strict monotheism or submission to one God. In Islam, it is believed that God is one, not more. Understand? So it also rejected. They also rejected Sufis. Islam also rejected idol worship and considerably simplified rituals of worship into collective prayers. Muslims, in Islam religion, it is also popular what? Collective prayer. Understand? Collective prayer. They do prayer collectively. Understand? At the same time, Muslim scholars they also developed a holy law, Muslim scholars, and the law is known as Shariat law. Understand? The Sufis often rejected the elaborate rituals. They also rejected the rituals and codes of behavior demanded by Muslim religious scholars. They also rejected the rules, regulation, rituals, codes of behavior demanded by Muslim scholars. Understand? And they sought union with God much as lover seeks his beloved. They loved the God just like a lover seeks his beloved to get the love, to get love. Sought union with God just like as a lover seeks to his beloved with disregard for the world. Understand? Like the saint poets, the Sufis too composed poems expressing their feelings. Understand? And rich literature in prose, including uh, anecdotes. Anecdotes means oral events, short stories. We can say that interesting stories, fables, short stories developed around them. Among the great Sufis of Central Asia were Ghazali, Rumi, and Sadi. Sadiq. Understand? Like the Nathpanthis, Siddhas, and Yogis, the Sufis too believed that the heart can be trained. They also believed, according to just like Yogis, Siddhas, and Nathpanthis, that the heart can be trained to look at the world in a different way, to look at the world different ways. Understand? They developed elaborate methods of training using zikr. Zikr means chanting of a name. Understand? A sacred formula, holy formula, contemplation, meditation, thinking, meditation, sama, singing, rags, dancing, discussions of parables, breath control under the guidance of a master or peer. Understand? These are things necessary to unite with the God. And afterward emerged the silsila, a genealogy ancestry of Sufi teachers, one after another, and each following a slightly different method, tariqa, of instructing for instruction and ritual practice. So we get that They also focused to train the heart because it is very compulsory to unite with the God. So they adopted different methods, chanting of a name, Jikr, sacred formula, also contemplation, sama singing, rags dancing, discussion of parables, and breath control, just like Nathpanthis, yoga yogis, and Siddhacharaj. Dear student, we know that a large number of Sufis from Central Asia settled in Hindustan from the 11th century onwards, and this process was strengthened with the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. Understand? When several major Sufi centers developed all over the subcontinent. During the time of Delhi Sultanate, the process was strengthened with the establishment of Delhi Sultanate. Understand? Sufi centers had been developed all over the subcontinent. And on that time, the Chishti Silsila was among the most influential orders. Understand? And also another one like Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti of Ajmer, Kutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki of Delhi, Baba Farid of Punjab, Khwaja Nizamuddin Aulia of Delhi, and Banda Nawaz Gisudaraz of Gulbarg. Understand? Kashmir. So we get that these centers had been developed of Sufi centers. The Sufi masters held their assemblies. They also hospice. Hospice means houses of rest. Understand? For travelers, especially one kept by religious order. In religious order, the holy travelers, the religious travelers who came, who come, who came on that time for religious purpose, and they'll stay at hospice. Understand? Hospice. So the Sufis master held their assemblies in their khankah. Khankah, or we say hospices. Understand? Hospices. Devotees of all descriptions, devotees from different religions, including members of the royalty and nobility and ordinary people, flock to these khankahs, hospices. Understand? They discussed, and in khankahs, hospices, they discussed the ordinary people, noble people, royalty people on the spiritual matters. They searched blessings of the saints in solving their worldly problems in khankahs. Khankahs or simply attended the music and dance session that was held in hospices. Often we know that people attributed Sufi's master with miraculous, wonderful powers that could treat others of their illness and troubles. Understand? So they could get relief from their trouble and problem, illness. They thought that Sufis had miraculous, wonderful power. The tomb and Dargah of a Sufi saint became a place of pilgrimage to which thousands of people of all faiths gathered. Understand? We will come here on the next subtopic. The subtopic is new religious developments in North India. Understand? So the period after the 13th century saw a wave of the Bhakti movement in North India. Understand? And this was the age when Islam Brahminical, Hinduism, Sufism, various strands of bhakti, various kinds of bhakti. And the Nathpanthi, Siddhas and Yogis influenced one another. Understand? We saw that new towns in chapter 6 we have seen, and kingdoms chapter number 2 and 3 and 4 were emerging, and people were taking up a new professions and finding new roles for themselves. Such people, especially craft persons, peasants, traders and laborers, thronged to listen to these new saints and spread their ideas. So we get that especially craft persons, peasants, traders, laborers thronged, gathered, and they listened to these new saints and spread their ideas, understand, throughout the subcontinent. Some of them, Kabir and Baba Guru Nanak, rejected all orthodox religions. Understand? They also rejected the rituals, code of conduct. Others like Tulsidas and Surdas, they accepted existing beliefs and practices but wanted to make these accessible to all. We get that Kabir and Baba Guru Nanak, they rejected outward religiosity, idol worship, different practices in religion, but Tulsidas and Surdas accepted these rituals, practices, and Tulsidas and Surdas, they wanted to make these accessible to all. Everyone could get these, understand? They wanted. Tulsidas conceived of God in the form of Ram. Tulsidasa's God was Ram, understand? And Tulsidasa's composition, the Ram Charitra Manas, understand? Everybody knows it. Written in Awadhi, a language used in eastern Uttar Pradesh, understand, is important both as an expression of his devotion and literary work, we can get that. And Surdas was ardent devotee. Tulsidas was the devotee of Ramchandra, and Surdas was the devotee of ardent devotee, great lover, devotee of Krishna, and his compositions compiled in the Sur Sagra, Sur Saravli and Sahitya Lahari express his devotion, understand. Also contemporary on that time, different saints were Sankaradeva of Assam, understand, late 15th century, understand, Sankaradeva of Assam, late 15th century, who emphasized devotion to Vishnu. Sankara Deva expressed his devotion to Vishnu and composed poems and plays in Assamese. Sankara Deva. He began to practice of setting up namghars. He also settled namghars. Namghars are houses of recitation and prayer. Understand? A practice that continues to date, where recitation of prayer practiced by different people, understand, and till now it is continued, namghars. This tradition also included saint likes, we also heard the name of Daddu Dayal, Ravidas, Mirabai. From these namghars, recitation of prayer which we get, Mirabai was a Rajput princess, understand, married into the royal family of Mewar into the 16th century. Mirabai became a disciple of Ravidas. She was the disciple of Ravidas, a saint from caste considered untouchable. Ravidas was known as untouchable, understand? And she was devoted to Krishna, Lord Krishna, understand? Who was devoted to Lord Krishna? Mirabai. And Mirabai composed innumerable bhajans expressing his intense devotion, understand, towards Lord Krishna. Her songs also openly challenged the norms of the upper castes, understand, rule and regulation that are made by upper castes, and became popular with the masses. Her bhajans were popular in Rajasthan and Gujarat, understand. Afterward, we know that her bhajans, they became immensely popular and were handed down orally from generation to generation. Usually the poorest, most deprived, the person who is most deprived, wanted, needy person, communities and women transmitted these songs, understand, often adding their own experiences, understand. So we get that her bhajans were most popular and transmitted from one generation to another generation by the poorest people, deprived wanted communities, poor communities, by women, understand, and adding their own experiences. And we know that these bhajans, they have become a part of our life, living popular culture. So I hope that you have understood all this clearly. Thanks for watching the video.